This is the Swarm and Shoot football show with me, Manny Matsakis, the head football coach at Defiance College. We feature Defiance College football and everything that influences our program. This show is brought to you by our friends at Big B Coffee right across campus on North Clinton Street. I'm actually having a cup right now, so everybody check it out on YouTube, and you can see the video of the cup and how delicious this beverage is. Get the finest coffee beverages, even tea, in Defiance, as well as great pastries, breakfast sandwiches to start your day off, and you can even get a pick-me-up like a lot of our coaching staff does in the afternoon. I'd also like to bring on board the maker of this fine apparel right here, and not just Nike, but we're talking about BSN Sports, all right? I'd like to bring on board our latest sponsor, BSN Sports, and Rob Held and his sales team are the professionals you need to get in touch with for all your sporting goods and apparel needs in Ohio. Not only do they work with high school and college sports teams, they also deliver outstanding apparel to businesses so they can brand themselves in a first-class manner. This is episode 52 of the Swarm and Shoot football show. I'm Manny Matsakis, the head football coach here at Defiance College. I am joined by our very good friend and football coach extraordinaire, Dr. Jeremy Taylor, professor, does everything here on campus. Just got a position here as dean of in the college, and we're fired up that he's been here with us to help us out. And I just want to talk to him about his defensive line and move forward with that. How's it going, Dr. Taylor?
It's going great. Great day to be in Jacket Nation. So we're very excited.
Well, you know, we didn't have the opportunity to have a true spring ball, though I know you had met with your guys and we did virtual meetings, getting them on board with the new system that Coach Johnson is putting in and so forth. And how did that go for you working with those guys? Because you've got a pretty interesting group that's returning.
I think it went really well. One thing I can say is, our defensive line group is not like the typical defensive line group that you think of. I've got a very cerebral group. And so they love the classroom. They love chalk talk. And spring ball was all virtual, so we were able to use meetings. We were on the whiteboard a lot. And I think that they really are going to have a strong grasp of the mental side of what they need to do. They picked up great concepts. I think their football knowledge in general increased. And so, I thought it went great. I
agree. And I listened in on some of yours, and it was fun and everybody for, our fans out there, each coach would record his sessions and I would get that each time, and I could watch our coaches teach, which is really, that's what coaching is. It's just teaching, and we just have a very captive audience because they get to play in front of people on Saturday. So, we're fortunate, as you know. Now, let me ask you, as far as the returners specifically, I just give me some insight on what you expect and what you've noticed with these guys from the interior. Then we'll talk about the defensive ends. Give me some insight on that.
Well, I'm very excited about this upcoming season simply because we are going to be returning about 7 players that all have significant playing time. So we're going to have some guys on the team that are going to be able to provide leadership and set an example for the young guys we're coming in. Specifically on the inside, our interior guys, our tackle and our nose guards. What I'm really excited about, Rigo Villa. Rigo Villa is going to be a junior next year. He's just one of those guys that's got a nasty attitude, but he also has the technical ability to play the position well. And he's made tremendous growth over the past 2 years, and I really see him doing great things in the fall. He made all conference honorable mention last year. Served as a leader as a sophomore. He's going to be a great player this year. Then we also have Maurice Brewer coming back. Maurice Brewer's just a big guy. I mean, like, he doesn't look like your typical D3 football player. He's big, he's ripped, and he also made tremendous gains. Last year was the first year that he played on the defensive line. He had some stints as a running back, played multiple different positions, but he finally found a home on the defensive line, which is great because he's got tremendous speed, tremendous upper body strength, and now he's learning the correct techniques to be a dominant force inside for his senior year. And then the other guy that I'm really excited about is Quantrez Pittman, who we're getting back this year. As you're aware, went down with an injury early on in the season, so he had to sit basically his entire sophomore year out. But he's worked really hard in the offseason to get himself back healthy. He's going to come back stronger than ever. And as a freshman, he played great. And I think that when he gets back this year, he's going to, really take out that aggression and really be able to do a good job for us. So those three are going to be, kind of be able to play in the middle. Those are our returners that are coming back in the middle. Going to be very good.
Yeah, it's exciting for all of us here in Jacket Nation, and we're certainly fired up about that interior because, if you can stop the run at any level, you've got a shot, and those interior guys can do that, and you got some athletic guys that can really put a good pass rush on. When I think about pass rush, oftentimes people, they don't realize what's going on in the middle, but those edge rushers are such a big deal. Let's talk about your defensive ends.
All right, defensive ends. Very excited about this group. We've got Damon Thomas coming back. Damon Thomas out of California, second team all conference last year. I believe he was second in the conference in sacks. I'm pretty sure he either was tied or led the conference among freshmen in sacks. He's a speed demon off the edge. Plays every play with 100% enthusiasm and energy, and it's just a smart guy. I can go out. He understands the game, understands the flow, what we're expecting him to do. He spent a lot of time in the offseason working on his upper body strength so that he can, be a little bit better against the run and not just be, dominant in the pass game. So Damon is going to be a great player coming back for us. Other defensive end is Dennis Dust. Big kid out of Florida. I believe he started all 10 games for us last year as a freshman. And once again, just a very smart guy that has spent the offseason improving his craft, really trying to improve and broaden his ability to pass rush. We've had a lot of conversations about the different types of moves that he can do, how to just increase that tool belt. So Dennis is coming back once again. And I guess as a caveat, let me mention that, at the D3 level, it's rare to have a freshman with 10 games of starting experience. We've got Damon and Dennis combined have 20 starts as freshmen. So that experience is going to be great because they're almost. I almost would equate them to being a junior with the amount of experience that they got coming in. The third defensive end that we got coming back is Ahmad Burrows out of New Jersey. Ahmad made the transition to defensive line with about 3 games left in the season, 2 or 3 games left in the season. So he's relatively new. The thing that excites me about him is he's a line. He could play. He started games at linebacker. Well, then when he moves down to the defensive line to play defensive end, he's going to provide tremendous power and speed on the outside. And also too having that linebacker mentality, so that he knows what's going on all over the field, and he's gonna do great for us. And then finally we got Marquez Abercrombie Williams. who's coming back as a defensive end. Marquez is unique because he can also play inside some. So he's one of those versatile guys that we can use in all four positions. Once again, just another really smart guy that knows what's going on. So those are the four defensive ends we got coming back, and I can't say how excited I am about them.
Yeah, me too. And what's great about this, you've got a nice group. I mean, you got 7 quality guys there that can all contribute in various ways. But you take that, and then we're also this fall going to be adding at least 7 more. Right now, we already have 7 deposits and a couple other on the hook that are making their decisions shortly. So that incoming class, when you look at the incoming class, knowing everybody out there understands that as we do these previews of the position, we can't give the young man's name, but they're all their highlights and so forth, other videos are available. If you follow us on Twitter or Instagram, we do post those because we're allowed to announce guys that have deposited. But how do you see that group stacking up as a whole, and where do you see some things there as you think about the incoming defensive linemen?
Well, I think, the one thing that stands out to me is that we've got some big boys coming in, just size-wise, and we've got a lot of versatility. A lot of the guys that are coming in, many of them played in like a 3-man front in high school, so they can kind of play inside or outside. A lot of them, if they play, even if they were a defensive end in the 3-man front, oftentimes they had an outside backer walked up next to them so they could still play. They're used to playing inside. So I think with this new group, we've got a lot of speed. We've got a lot of power as well, and size. And so, with defensive line, the most important thing, I think defensive line is one of those few positions where it's rare that you're going to have a starter stay in and play the entire game. So you really need 10 to 12 defensive linemen that you can rotate rapidly and that you can rotate constantly throughout a game. I think bringing these 7 that we have deposited and committed already, what that's going to do is I think they're going to allow us to rotate them in and have a great rotation without a significant drop-off in talent. So each of these guys, we've got guys coming from all across the nation, Georgia, Tennessee, Arizona, Connecticut, Florida, Indiana, Louisiana, so it's going to be a diverse group, and they're all going to bring something and be able to contribute in their own way. So I think that this is going to be a group that is going to be able to come in and contribute immediately, and be able to come in and set up a really good rotation, which if we can keep our defensive linemen fresh, then that helps the backside. That allows us to do Coach Johnson to call some fun stuff. So,
yeah. Without question, and it is exciting. I mean, the one thing about the whole team, and yours is a microcosm of the big picture, where we do have, I believe, as good a talent as we've had here, better than the first 2 seasons together. But more importantly, they're young but experienced.
Yeah.
And that has been the ticket right now. So where you do see, oh my goodness, how can they, they're going to start so many sophomores, but hey, he's got 8 starts. He's got 10 starts. I mean, across the board at every position, you can say that about us. So it will help. I know that, Coach Shank has sent out the workouts to these guys. They're going through diligently working on their bodies to come in training camp. And we're all excited about it. I think anybody that is a fan of the Yellow Jackets is excited about it. And all we have to do is just get a little better. And you never know when the opportunity is going to rise that we're going to break through in this conference. So
absolutely. Well, and I think too, one thing that can't go unnoticed is that for the first time in a long time, we've actually got a lot of returners coming back.
Yes.
Who will be able to provide leadership they'll be able to, these new guys coming in, when they come in and they're at practice, these older guys are going to provide the leadership to know, hey, this is how we run this drill. This is how we do this. Yeah. They'll be able to set the tone for these young guys. Whereas, and even last year, it was primarily the coaches were the only ones having to set the tone because everyone was new. They had just come from high school practice.
That's right.
And so, I think having that mentorship is going to allow these young guys that are coming in an opportunity to develop at a quicker rate almost than in previous years, because the competition is going to be there. So,
it is. Yes. And we're excited about that. And Coach, I want to thank you for coming on this podcast, as you have a few other times. And just as we wrap this up, could you give our fans out there just an overview of your new position as dean? The elevator pitch, what it is you're going to be working on.
All right. Well, in my new role, I've just been appointed as the dean for the newly created Institute of Career Readiness and Lifelong Learning. And basically what my job will be is to run a new program that we have called Jacket Journey. And the idea behind Jacket Journey is to have our students begin to think about and be prepared and career ready from the time they come into school to the time they graduate. So that when they're seniors, they're not just sitting there thinking, well, what am I going to do now that I've got this degree? So as part of Jacket Journey, what we're going to do is have some required courses the students take. We're going to have some specific career readiness programming. We are going to begin to help students to be able to articulate everything that they do on campus and how it translates to career ready skills. So for example, if someone is a captain of our football team, right, it's not just being a captain of a football team, right? But when they graduate, they should be able to tell their employer, I had this leadership role where I was able to develop team building, where I had to effectively communicate with my team, where I had to do project management. All of those things. It's going to be the whole goal of the Institute is to have students to be able to articulate their entire experience at Defiance College so that they're career ready when they graduate. So there's a lot of programming to it, but it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be some opportunities in there for students to be able to leverage what they're doing already and use it and be able to articulate it better when they graduate.
Love it. Dr. Taylor, thank you again so much for everything you've done in the program and will continue to do in your own way. So we'll be back at you next week, and thanks everybody out there for tuning in. Thank you for joining us on this latest episode of the Swarm and Shoot Football Show. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure to subscribe in iTunes, give us a rating, comment on the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell in the top corner there so you can get notifications when we release the next show. Feel free to comment below on a specific show and we'll answer those questions as we need to. If you'd like to step up to the next level and get all kinds of updates, go to our website, swarmandshoot.com, where you'll get up-to-date alerts on all of our podcasts. You'll have the audio on there. There's actually a video player where you can scroll through each and every episode that we have of the podcast from the YouTube version. So you never really have to leave the site. You'll also see some features on various players, our coaching staff bios, all types of things going on in our program, when our golf scramble is, different fundraisers we do, just insights for you that take you to that next level, which is what swarmandshoot.com will do for you. Take a minute and subscribe with your email. when you log on, there'll actually probably be a pop-up about 6 seconds into it, and it gives you a chance to go in, and that will put you into our email database. So every time we update, you get an email knowing that we're basically set to go on the next episode of the podcast or any news that's coming out. Appreciate you supporting the program, and look forward to a wonderful season.